Good evening. Hypernatural.Berlin. Welcome everybody. Welcome aboard. No. You could. Okay. Can you please put the monitor up slowly? Okay. So good everybody. Good evening. We're Hypernatural, second season officially starting here. As you can see, we're in a new setup here. This show is on the spectrum between analog and digital. Oh, now I can hear myself. There you go. And slowly, Bob. There we go. Now we're on. I think also Bobby Starr and one of the two gonna catch his place and join us very soon. So the Hypernatural.Show Berlin officially season 2 starts just at this moment. We are a show about music, art, and technology produced in Berlin. We are the window for you to the world about what's going on here in Berlin. And now we're starting the second season, basically. Hypernatural on the spectrum between analog and digital.
There we go.
Oh, now we got Bobby Starr as well.
There's some Analogue.
Now I feel not lonely on the mic. Good to have you here.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. So what are you saying, Bobby?
What are you going to do? Try and replace me or what?
No way. You cannot replace the unreplaceable.
Let's be honest here.
All right.
There's no BS.
Not just yet.
And it's nearly after swear hours, right? So
Okay,
we can actually
okay.
come with the adult tone of tonight.
For the parents around the house.
Yeah. I'm just going to start off with something special since we just had something very special.
Mm-hmm. Oh, now we got the music going. Funny. All right. Thank you.
There
We
we
can breathe
go.
again. We can breathe again.
We can breathe it.
Yeah. So Hypernatural show. We're gonna have 6 episodes in this season.
Mm-hmm.
Different, as we said, different topics from gaming, music, fashion, film, and VR. And this show is going to be about music production, all about the sound. Is the name of the show. So we have 3 experts in the house representing analog and digital approaches in music. We got Leon Koroshetz here that you just saw, showing us some great skills on the
Let's give him
Tibetan bowls, I would say.
We have to give him a hang.
Singing bowls, all right. We got Rocky B, Asayag, Roy, aka Tropical Camel, music producer, mastering engineer, mix production, rapper, vocalist, and a visionary. Preacher in the house. And we got CJ from Databots. Maybe each one of you can say one word himself. Maybe CJ, you can start just to introduce yourself. Pass the mic.
I'm CJ. I train AI systems to generate death metal.
Whoa, interesting.
My name is Roy, aka Tropical Camel, musical producer, musician, part of Rhapsody Collective. Releasing music for the last 20 years in various genres. I won't tell you the life story. It will take a long time. I have a long career.
We have 1 hour for the show, so
we have only 1 hour.
All right. If you want to hear more about Roy, you can check it out. Leon,
Hi.
can you introduce yourself? Yeah.
I was raised and born in Slovenia.
Mm-hmm.
I arrived in Germany 10 years ago.
Microphone so we can hear the other.
Is okay?
Yeah.
I'm a sound therapist.
Sound therapist.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Also registered nurse. I'm also natural healer,
Mm-hmm.
aroma, Ayurveda,
Okay.
shiatsu practitioner.
Mm.
So I combined all these aspects
Wow.
together.
Very, very interesting. So you're using music basically to heal.
To heal.
Music is
yes.
the answer.
It's all about the sound.
All right. This topic of the show. So, okay. There's another thing on the plan. We gotta have Tom for a second here.
How's it going, guys? You alright? Great for watching. If you're watching, hopefully you do. So just get in touch with us on social media. I'll be on it all night, really, or all evening, or 1 hour. So just
24/7.
24/7, mate. That's it. Hypernatural, that is. So yeah, get in touch on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, in the chat, on YouTube. We might get to these questions to be answered later on, if Danny agrees later. All right, wicked. Go on, mate.
Yes,
So as Tom says, social media entrepreneur here, don't forget to subscribe to all our channels if you want to watch and see more of Hypernatural. We have a lot to deliver constantly. Okay, so back to the show. Our topic of the show today is we're in music production, analog versus digital, right? So I want to have a little discussion with you guys. First of all, for viewers, we are all here musicians, producers, music makers. Maybe we start with just defining exactly what is for you analog and digital in music. Roy, maybe you want to start.
Yeah, like analog and digital is kind of, if you look at it in a perspective from, let's say I'm also mixing engineer and mastering, so it's the tools that you use primarily to make your music. So it's meaning analog is an analog source for an analog circuit, and digital, most people are referring it to music that is made by programs and plugins, which is not true because there is digital synthesizers from the 90s and digital processors and digital drum machines already from the 90s, late 80s. But today it's referred to you are making analog, so it means that you have a drum machine at the house and you waste a lot of money. And if you are doing analog, apparently you are a poor producer that has only a computer. Basically, both are quite the opposite of what it was in the 80s, because in the 80s to buy a drum machine costs not so much.
No, I don't know if it's the true.
No, 303.
It was quite expensive in the 80s. Rob, can you confirm? You've been there. Oh, you've been there as well.
Yeah. But basically, that's the technical term.
Okay.
But it's also an approach. But I got to say, this is kind of a bullshit.
I don't agree, but okay.
But it's an approach. And why it's a bullshit? Because the MIDI controllers and all the programs are based on the analog machines. Every machine, every program that I explain it the same way as it was. That it's inside a computer or outside, it's not just the power of the sequencer. By the way, sequencers are present as computers from the late 80s as well.
Okay. So guys, as you as music producers experience one, can you hear the difference between analog and digital music in the club or something? Maybe.
I think so. Not always, but when I'm in the club, for example, I can hear who's playing vinyls or who's doing live act. So I can. How can you hear it? Like, what's the sound of the vinyls is a bit different. It's a bit different. It's got warmth.
Yeah.
It's got maybe also that nostalgic background.
Okay. So you can define the sound. Maybe CJ, you want to say something about that? Can you get
The difference between digital and analog. Digital is like the realm of discrete math and computers, and you can control it. Analog is this realm of meat space. It's me right here. It's us on the street. It's the spontaneity of being able to go into a beatbox jam.
Okay, it's more real life like experience in the way you see it, than programming music.
I think it's generally it's for sure you hear vinyl is for sure you hear the sound difference and so on, but as I said, there is no such a difference because this vinyl was not recorded in an analog studio. It was made by Ableton Live and then it was mastered to vinyl, maybe in digital. In a digital way and not through analog processors, and then the vinyl for sure makes it sound more round and has nice mids and so forth, but as a per experience of the crowd and not us musicians, I don't think the crowd is referring to that. Maybe club freaks. Oh, wow, he's playing vinyl. He's a much cooler DJ. He knows how to mix vinyl. But not more than that. I don't think it's currently so present, especially in the VST world, which has so much analog plugins that sounds so good.
Which one?
Plugins that
Which
try
ones
to
do you
imitate
think?
analog sound, by the way, right?
Yes, but the imitation is becoming much more present. When I started to do music 20 years ago and we had a plugin, it was like 1 mega, you know? Now a plugin can be like devastating your computer, basically. There is special sound cards that has a lot of processing power. It's very different. So yeah, it's also a technical, but a lot of analog people and not digital people are referring to it as also a matter of process, meaning the way you process. For me, it's just what I see, that the analog signal is just more, let's call it, healthy. So you tend to work on that less. But also not so true for every producer.
I'm not totally agree with you, Roy, but that's why we do this show, to make it interesting. But Rob, I wonder what's your takeoff on this topic? Like you're producing music as well.
I think it's just down to yourself. It's like what do you want to use, what do you want to abuse. So like if you look at your history of making music, do you make it easier for yourself or make it harder for yourself? Do you make it challenging? Then maybe there's days where you want to do a quick fix on something. Could be sampling, maybe not sampling, but then it could be also the point of then, okay, let's bring out an old drum machine I haven't played with for ages, and then let's spend the weekend with it. It's like going on a romance trip.
Yeah.
Right? And then see what happens.
Gets the hands dirty.
Yeah, well, it's not about
In
getting
some
hands dirty,
way.
it's about, it's your work ethic changes. So if you see the difference between analog, digital and acoustic, there's a different way of working, but there's also
It's
a
a whole different
combination
approach,
where
yeah.
they overlap.
That's true.
So that's why I'd say where they overlap and about your work ethic.
I think at the end, the information is the most important thing. What kind of vibration and information message you will bring.
I think it's also about what you feel, what comes from it.
Of
Because
course.
maybe there's a little funny moment, what happens, you go, oh, and that, accident happens, and well, isn't it fun to flip how you actually be creative? Because it's easy to do the same thing every single day, but there is also that moment where you want to challenge yourself and go, okay, I'm going to do something completely different today on purpose. Work at night time, work in the morning, it's also a different way.
Well, if I'm going to join the discussion, I mean personally, I'm an analog freak in how I make music, but it's just my approach. For sure, I mean digital is great. I mean I'm not really a fan of plugins from my personal taste, but I guess it's really a matter of your way of work, how you like to do things. I really like to work with hardware in general. It just feel more fun to me. Also, something not to forget at every instrument that you're playing, whether it be a drum machine, for instance, Roy, right? Well, yeah, for sure you can use MIDI in order to program beats, but when you're having a certain drum machine, the machine itself has its own character, whether it's digital or analog instrument. Can you take something out of that?
Yeah, but you still use Ableton Live. I know good how you work. Like everything that you process in the computer after and not doing it the old way, like recording it really through a mixer in the same way and editing it through analog, so it has a digital way. So what I mean is the source today, and that is the digital age, the source is something, but what you make from the source is another thing. The way you can process it, if you had 3 effects in the studio back then, because you had 3 pedals, because that's the money that you had, now you have, wow, So, of course, but it's for me all technical things, like how you are working with machines, whether it's a computer or whether you're a drum machine, you work with a machine, how your spirit and your inspiration, how you can improvise with machines. This is the really big question. And this is also for me like a kind of like kind of a mystical question, because basically the machine has also its own spirit in some way, and you need to take over it in many times. For example, I am building instruments inside Ableton, and they are quite random. And when I do a show, I don't know where it's going to take me. The machine is controlling the sequencer. I don't know which note will be somewhere. I'm not playing safe. But everything can be. Sometimes I have a good loop. Sometimes it takes me 2 minutes to find it. And I keep this random so the machine will somehow control the show. It's scary. It's a scary moment that I think it's important.
CJ, I want to ask you, because you are actually, what you're doing is like, you're taking like sources, if I understood it from you, from the conversation, right? And then you put it into algorithm. Maybe you can explain for a little moment for the viewers, what exactly did you explain me before? Because it's quite fascinating.
Right, so these neural networks, what they're doing, they're trying to imitate whatever source material that they're trained on. We can give it bands, singers, punk bands, metal bands.
Fascinating.
And it's a synthesizer. And so we're used to additive synthesizers. Those sound like the oboe on your Yamaha keyboard. FM synthesizers, the sound of dubstep. The granular synthesizers. The new thing, neural synthesizers.
Neuro or synthesizers. This is the term.
Yes.
Neuro.
Are you trying to
I'm trying to practice my English.
The new trademark.
Exactly. I try to copy. Yeah.
Hypernatural.Berlin
Hypernatural.
2020.
Building synthesizers using the math of neural networks, which is calculus and linear algebra.
Okay, so when you say neuron again, whatever, you mean like brain, like the way brain is functioning, or you try to create some intelligence?
Inspired by what nature has built in our heads.
So what you do, basically, you create music that write itself on the spot, right?
Right. So we, many ways to train these nets. How we train them, we set up this autocomplete game where we're taking one album. In the case of Relentless Doppelganger's Arcspire's album, we're giving it part of it, and we say, guess what happens next? Guess what happens next? And it plays this game millions of times.
Okay.
It gets better and better at it. It's updating its weights of all the neural connections. Eventually it gets so good as when it generates, it goes like, okay, what comes next? What comes next? What comes next? We just go. And you can do this 24/7.
Wow.
Which generates forever.
So basically, it's analyzing the music that you're feeding into him. Basically, he's like learning it, and then he learn to reproduce it.
Correct. And what used to be the realm of only analog, like live bands, is now the realm of computers
as well. So what kind of music are you feeding in this? So you said, I know for sure that metal is something that you're occupied with.
Yeah, we're huge metalheads. We've also fed.
You came from metal, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I can assume.
But we fed it John Coltrane. We fed it beatboxing. A lot of things.
Okay, electronic music as well.
Yeah, we did a collaboration with breakcore artist Drum Corps.
Okay, so again, you're always in the realm of hardcore music. Okay, you like loudness. Okay.
Yeah, got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna watch now? 5 minutes. Okay. Interesting. So.
It sounds like someone's been thrown off a little bit here, right?
Yeah, I thought we're gonna have.
It is the start of the second series. We're gonna get warmed up back into the rhythm.
It's actually already in use in plugins, the machine learning, plugins that makes mastering, plugins that do EQ. I guess I gave it 10 years. 50 to 60% will be done automatically. I don't think. I think a basic EQ, like a see-through like mix, like what we call like a see-through mix, every computer can do in 3 to 4 minutes. Save us a lot of time. Then we can deal with the music. Already now, people and labels are mastered by machine learning algorithms and not by humans. Even good labels. You just go to a website, you put your track, you pay whatever you pay. It's mastered
on the cloud,
and you can have adjust it. You can say this, go more here, go more there. So there will be the human factor, but many things that you do are very technical. So, yeah, for sure.
So are you referring that like machine is taking over, like this fear of machine taking over they took our job kind of style? You think they're gonna take our jobs as well as a music producer?
No, I'm not. I don't know what will happen, and things are also very complex. That there is a certain technology doesn't mean how people will adopt it. Of course, today with big, when Google and Facebook are working on an AI project, they will have a lot of PR power to convince us that is the good thing for you, son. Yep. It saves you a lot of energy instead of doing a mix in 10 minutes. But basically, it's not about that. It's about in sound. I think it's a good tool. I use these tools. It's good. It's nice to know what the computer is doing, even if I do it different. It's like somebody has another opinion. I want like 4 robots next to me saying like one would be like, no man, the mids are not so good. The other robot would say to me, the melody is
Too much on the high.
Look how I can do that. Good. Why not? It's better than being alone.
The lonely producer.
What I would say, I like the
Yeah.
idea that we have then, let's say, robots with us in the studio. What happens if you can make them as an avatar, as a profile of? I'll take Lee Scratch Perry with me, please, today, and then I would like to have Mushroom from Massive Attack. And Sunrise is going to come out and hang out.
Yeah, just
Now
for the
we're
vibe.
talking.
It's just
This
gonna
is
roll.
like
It's just
this.
gonna roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's what he's doing. Like you're basically building a neural system. Yeah. So you can put my album inside and maybe rewrite my next album, and I would say, God damn, I never thought about that.
And if we could get
Sounds
royalties
awesome.
to return back to the original artists, then a new way to get artists paid.
There's a business model here, man. Let's write it down. Let's make automation on our music and let it go and just take the royalties home. Maybe.
This is the next step of the digital world for sure, for 100%. It's sure. It's also working good for technical stuff, but the result, it's bringing the biggest question. As I said, we are like having or thinking that we have a consciousness and we communicate with this consciousness inside the machine. And there is a lot of dealing with it in philosophy. If there is consciousness, if consciousness implicates the brain, if we are imitating consciousness, if that or that or that. So you can say we are a very, very special drum machine, but we are still mistaking in every note that we make.
That's true. The mistaking maybe is also what brings the magic, and maybe that's something that computers
But you
will be
can
lacking
teach
of
computers to do mistakes.
as well. True. Okay, we're gonna watch now. We're gonna have now a little demonstration of Databots music. So it's gonna be. We're gonna put it on now. We can watch it. It's music produced completely digitally, right? Or you wanna say something about present? What are you gonna watch?
Yeah, everything you're hearing is generated by the neural network. I think this is the live stream. It's generating right now on a server somewhere in South Carolina.
What are we gonna watch? So what are we gonna watch now? It's live made. Yes. I didn't know that. It's quite insane. So let's have a watch on that.
Do we watch it now?
Are we in, or should we hold the mic? We're back.
We won't hear it now.
No, we're not back. Okay. Are we back? Or are we not back?
Yeah, there is, isn't it? For life she lived an empty
Mhm.
There's the lyrics as well.
Yeah. Okay. So Tom.
What? Oh, it's okay. What's time for?
What's the time for it, Tom?
What's time for?
What is the time for?
For
Okay, it's game time.
for game.
Okay, we have a little game. We have a little surprise here. So we discussed now about defining sounds of digital and analog. So we're gonna have a little trade here. here with the guests. Everybody can take part. Also, our crowd. Also, Moody wanna take guests or. Yeah, you got a little board here. So it's yeah. We're gonna operate you here, guys. It's not gonna be that simple as you
It's for
thought.
price, so make sure you put your
Yeah.
own focus and effort.
Yes. So it's a charade with prizes. Okay. And the winner is gonna get some.
Yeah, okay. We're going to give
We-
peanuts tonight, or are we going to give real money?
Yeah, we're gonna play by tokens that you can.
You can pay me by drugs. It's okay.
Okay.
It's not even 9 o'clock and Rocky B is
Or
on
we
the
start.
line
Rocky
already.
B is in the
One
house.
yellow card for Rocky B tonight.
Okay. Okay.
Drugs are analog.
Ah.
All right. The source was produced digitally, but there. Okay, so yeah, the game is gonna be quite simple, guys. We discussed about like defining sound, so we're gonna play you some sounds, all right? And what you have to do is define if the source of the sound has been produced analogically, digitally, or any other way, all right?
And just to clarify, it's not going for the space echo. So just to stop confusion. Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about the source, also, if you want to get philosophized. Yeah. Bobby on the 1 and the 2 is gonna play us the sounds, and you can write it down. So let's hear it. Okay, that was the first sound. So you can write down. Everybody can say to himself what was the source. All right. And when everybody ready, we can do the second sound. Right, Rob? Let's hit it up. Yeah, we're ready. Yeah.
So everybody's confident.
Everybody's confident. Everybody got their answers right, so we can move on. Cool. Awesome. There we go. Second sound, please. Okay, that was it. That was second sound sample, right? What was the source? Was it digital?
Was that Toto? It wasn't Toto.
No. Okay.
Okay, I was getting a bit worried.
It was. There was your guess, Rob. Okay. So we got a second sound going on. Digital versus analog on the spectrum. Hypernatural here. Straight from Neukölln. We're gonna play the third sound. And I'll do the charade. Okay, it was third sound. Everybody can write their answer. I give you 2 more seconds to write it down. Okay.
Why is he so pushy tonight, man? He's normally like so slow and around everything, and then tonight he's like, no, you only got 1 second.
Yeah. No, nowadays we're like working on a time frame, you know. There's a reason we're gonna try to get out of the chaos of the last season, put things into order, aren't we?
Oh. Why was chaotic about?
Whoa.
What was
okay.
that then?
It wasn't me. Was it Tom?
It sounded like a whoopee cushion.
Was it
It's like
digital
a
or
whoopee
analog?
cushion going through a delay pedal.
It's a space echo out of.
No. It was a whoopee cushion going. Okay.
Okay.
What's up with this guy tonight? Jesus.
Yeah. So okay. Let's.
Halloween was already gone, mate.
It's a pre-New Year, I think, promo. Anyhow, so let's get back to the game, guys. So let's start with the first sound. Let's go. Everybody can reveal his answer. Let's start with you, CJ. What was the first sound?
Digital, like white noise being filtered and stuff.
Write it down. CJ say white noise filtered, digital. Right. Okay. Roy, what's your answer?
I have a guess, but it's a wild guess because I saw this. I had a friend that had a machine from the 70s that makes wind. Yeah, man. Fucking gay, man.
Not
It
from
was
the ass.
Crazy,
We're
man.
talking
We made
wind.
so much fucking noise with this machine
Uh-huh.
through a distortion. Wow, your ear would bleed. But in a general sense, it was a wind machine. It was just making wind. So I guess it's that.
Okay. So wind machine from the 70s is the answer of Rocky
And that's
B.
analog.
It's analog. So we have
Okay.
one digital, one
Whoa.
analog.
Can we just clarify if it's acoustic or is it analog?
I don't know what this weird
Okay.
machine was, but it was looking like some kind of a synthesizer of some way.
Okay.
So you're
Sweet.
referring it was kind of a white noise produced by the wind machine from the 70s, if I reckon.
He liked to do drones.
Drones from the 70s. All right, Leon.
So I know the answer because I played this instrument yesterday, and it's called ocean drum.
Ah,
Yes.
somebody's been doing their research.
Okay,
Well
so
done.
yeah, the answer was acoustic. This sound was produced acoustically by Ocean Drum. Is it here? Maybe we can show it, or is it like we will show it later. We'll put it out later and we show to the guests how it worked. Yeah. Okay. So let's go for the second sound. Yeah, we start with you, CJ. What was it?
Probably some Native Instruments VST plugin that's trying to sound like a bass or something.
So plug-in, digital,
I agree.
easy one.
Mm. Electric guitar.
Okay, electric guitar,
Yeah.
a real electric
Yeah.
guitar.
I don't know.
Okay, Leon says one electric guitar. It's two answers. Plug-in, native instrument. You say. Okay, so digital. Okay. The answer is correct. So there was an Ableton. If you're gonna look up, there was an Ableton guitar rack, backed up with Waves guitar amp plugin. Okay. Third sound. What was it? Can you remind us what was the third sound? What it sounded like, Rob? Can someone like imitate it? Maybe Tom want to imitate it.
Yeah, maybe somebody imitated. So I
Okay.
forgot what it was. So.
Everybody don't remember even
Very
what
memorable.
it was.
Oh no,
Okay.
was this Toto?
I was-
No, Toto's gone.
Okay, I was just testing your memory. I was just testing your memory. Okay. CJ, you can hit it up.
That sounded like a real mouth harp. 'Cause I haven't heard synthesizers imitate that well yet.
Yeah, the same.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, 3 answers are correct. Good ones, guys.
It was Toto.
It was,
I knew it. No.
Yeah,
That was
and it
Toto.
wasn't Toto. It was like it was a mouth harp sample from YouTube. So if it's digital analog, it was So good, guys. So we have like, if we wanna count, Tom, can we count the points? Who's the winner? You wanna come here, like? Okay. 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 All right. So Tom. Everybody's a winner because we are Hypernatural, and we are against competitiveness. Everybody's a winner in Hypernatural. Everybody's a winner. Nobody's a loser. Yes. Some win more. Some win more than more. Yes. What it means. So show her the prize. Okay. Show it to the camera. Show it to the camera. It's good. Yeah, so this is some new fresh Hypernatural merchandise with the Hypernatural logo on top. The watch, the digital watch is coming on the way. It's the next area. Okay. There you go. Each one of you get an Hypernatural brand new t-shirt. Yeah. More of that coming, of this merchandise later on. Yeah.
I never saw a hypernatural dream.
Ah, that's after 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Depends on the weed you smoke before you sleep.
All right, so there was a little game here, Hypernatural. We tried to step up our game and make this show a little bit more entertaining than it already was. Anyhow, so we're gonna announce a little bit of what are we doing now in Hypernatural. So we're it's promo time basically. So we want to announce that we are happy to launch Hypernatural Recordings, new music label from the house of Hypernatural.Berlin. First release coming on 6th of December. Okay, in all the selected shops, you can find there the Devolts EP. You and I just came out and mastering freshly, which was mastered by this master guy, additionally mixed to give the credits. Stefano De Puma here on the sound, was doing the electric guitars and vocals.
Ghostbusters number 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or number 2. Number 1. Let's put him number 1.
You can a little show of Stefano so you know who's involved in the band. It was me also. I'm doing vocals, keys, production. There you go. So just a little thing. More than that, we're gonna release now from once every month a new release. So second release coming on 7th,
31st of January.
31st birthday of Bobby. Yeah. When
a lot to talk about, but let's not talk about it all.
Okay, there's a lot of things. So we just want to get you updated on that. So let's go to the next question of the show. So let's go a little bit to nerdy talk. Okay. So from your personal experience and how you work, how do you implement digital and analog approach in your work? I just want to start with you, actually, Leon.
So basically, most of the time I play acoustically.
Okay.
But recently I started to record the sounds from the nature and urban surrounding. So what I basically do, I record on sometimes I record on old school analog recording machine.
Such as like tapes?
Yes.
Tapes.
Tascam. 246.
Four channel Tascam.
Yes.
I saw it. It's quite fascinating.
And then sometimes I use Zoom.
So field recorders.
Yes. So then at the moment I'm trying to combine all these sounds together with other analog equipment,
such as
modular synthesizers or like Roland 303 or stuff like this.
Okay, so analog synthesizer processing.
Yes.
So
and drum machines and stuff like that.
So field recordings.
Yes.
Nature sounds.
Nature at the moment. Yes.
Mixed with analog hardware.
Yes.
So to speak. Okay, and there's any digital aspect of your production as well, or is it purely? Are you using digital workstations, for instance, for arranging your music, or are you just doing you're recording it directly on tapes? Is there any digital aspect to that?
Tapes.
Directly?
Yeah.
Okay. Old book?
Old school, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're keeping it in this way. CJ, actually, I want to hear about your process a little bit as well.
Sure. Well, from the analog, which is the meat space, it's all the spaces where computers aren't. And that's on the street after club closes, and you and a bunch of mates suddenly find yourself in a cipher, and someone's rapping, someone's beatboxing, like. Now, if you've noticed in the last like several decades, beatboxing sounds so much like digital music. It sounds like hip hop. Sounds like IDM.
When it's tight made.
Right? Yeah. So the world of the digital is now augmenting the human voice to do all the stuff that is
autotune. Okay. All right.
And it's important if you're designing computer tools is to think about how do we augment our human skills, not just amputate us.
That's true. That's a message.
That's the message.
That's the message. Hypernatural. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And then the other half on the digital side. So, digital sound is less than a century old. It's a human experiment to try to find the limits of human perception of sound. And this has been around since information theory, Claude Shannon, Bell Labs. It's like what's the smallest change that you could do to sound such that a human finds the difference imperceptible over time, over frequency, et cetera, and groups like that would create like the MPEG protocol, trying to find an encoding that maps the whole thing.
Okay.
And when you can do that, you have the world of discrete math opens up, and you have so much control and with continuous math, you're dealing with all these infinities that you can't really do.
Okay. So you talk about bringing more order into the chaos of sound, because psychoacoustic is a very chaotic, I would say, science, if you can call it, even though it does based on mathematics, which is, you want to call it accurate science, right?
Right. But continuous is very intractable. Things you can't do.
Okay. Very interesting. So in what way do you would say, if we come back to directly the question, how are you merging from this analog and digital approach in your work? How
right.
you would say it?
So in our work, we're taking the digital and bringing it back to the analog. It's
Okay.
like what hasn't been synthesized yet, and it's metal bands, punk
Okay.
bands. It's like the sound of your particular
All right.
voice. It's
the most
deep fakes.
Okay.
Deep fakes.
Deep fakes. Whoa, okay. Super interesting. Super interesting. Okay, Roy, I want to hear your takeoff on that.
I'm a digital guy. I don't use analog. I don't have the money for this shit. Basically, I use samples from tapes. I have a lot of like tapes, but lately also I'm like working fully digital. So the only thing that I can say that is a bit analog is the way I manage samples and cut and chop samples. But it's also in the digital world. For me, it's like very convenient. I have the plans maybe in the future to have more drum machine and so, but it's only because I just don't want to waste time on the signal. It's not like, I don't feel like with the MIDI controllers, there is so much the same way of work, sequencing in many different ways. There is so much controllers that do basically the same. It's okay, there is far out things like octatrack stuff in analog, but it's not changing so much for me. Lots of my tracks, people thought it was made by drum machines and made by it sounds like tapes, and because I just have the tendency to do that. I'm not a hi-fi guy.
So you're a human drum machine.
Something like that.
Call
But I don't see any something really different. And I think the thing is the personality of the person, the creativity, the inspiration, and not the technical stuff. I saw people with really huge studios of analog that creates shitty sounds and boring shit.
That's true.
I saw people with just Fruity Loops, 19-year-old kids in South Africa that making like fucked up music that is like not logical at all and not mixed good at all. Well, man, so for me it's like it's more technical and it doesn't have to do with the music.
Rob, I saw you grabbing the mic.
I just have to feel about South Africa and this whole idea about what they have and what they do, but they don't really have a hip-hop culture. They have a house culture. I have full respect for South Africa. Doesn't matter if they're 15 or they're 35, they're into house music. Love.
Love to South Africa here from Hypernatural. We do have a future collaboration.
What I say, the sound stamp doesn't come from the machine you use.
Okay.
Sound stamp comes from the inspiration you have. That's what I say.
But the reason you're not using any hardware is only financial, or is it ideological as well from your side?
Look, I did music without monitors for I think 13 years. I mixed it on I had a couple of speakers and a Pentium computer. So I'm doing it because it needs to be done, and I'm inspired. So, and I don't know how to play any instrument, so computer is quite good for me.
Isn't that computer instruments?
It's not an instrument
or
in the way I don't need to play live. I mostly sequence. So for me,
programming music, then playing it live.
It's like that's in the old schools. That was a guy that he's the programmer, you know. But.
Okay.
Yeah, so but it's not that I'm not interested in that or in analog.
But is there
I don't see it as
aspect? Is there any analog aspect from your music creation or your process or your creative process?
No, I won't say it's like that. No, maybe it sounds a bit like a tape because I like tapes, but it's still analog.
But in sense of sound. Do you search to reach analog results in your mastering? In your if we talk about mastering, for instance.
No.
So you're really anti-analog, if I get your point of view.
No. I'm not anti-analog and I'm not anti-digital. I'm anti both.
Okay, you just anti.
I don't judge music by the instruments played in. I judge it if it makes me feel. That's why I am human. And I am not a machine learning, you know, and whatever makes me feel. Sometimes I will hear really digital stuff that made like this trap, and I would love the sound and it's crystallized. Sometimes I would like something from the 90s that sounds with this warm drum machine. I don't know what is warm, what is cold. You know, it's what I'm used to, what I got used to in my life. So It's digital and analog is very term of nostalgia and memory, and that's why music nerds
feeling.
are using it,
So
but
sort
it
of
has
emotion.
nothing to do with the music.
Interesting. Leon, I wondered if you have anything to do with digital approach, because you said it. Will you define yourself someone who's like have some agenda against digital approach? Because you are the quite opposite of Roy if you talk about this
Well,
spectrum
as I
on the
said-
spectrum.
Yes, well, as I said at the beginning, the information is the most important thing.
Right,
When
the
you
result.
the result. So, for me, it doesn't matter if you're in digital or analog or acoustical world.
Okay. So no, doesn't matter.
No, at the end, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Can I may I ask something? Can we move a little bit the monitor a bit louder so you can have a bit more of music in the room? No.
Now I know it's finishing in 10 minutes. Last time it took 2 hours, man.
All right. Okay. So Moody, come. We got Moody Kablawi in the house, by the way.
1, 2, 3.
Brother and Moody,
You know,
musician,
Hello,
producer,
Hypernatural.
rapper, singer, talent.
Habibi.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be around
Yes,
the
good to have
next
you.
level of Hypernatural, guys. Big up to all
Thanks.
for bringing it all together
Mm.
tightly and nicely.
Yeah.
You know.
Thanks.
If we're talking about analog and digital, for me,
Yes.
as a producer, when I hear analog stuff, I hear the juiciness in the sound. You know, the
I
low
agree.
ends,
I
the
agree.
stuff like that.
I agree.
So my question to you
I'm
guys
afraid.
is, when it comes to mixing, don't you think if we focus somehow on digital plugins that actually add the low ends, that somehow build an algorithm that gets into this low mids, all this juiciness that you hear in the analog, or even the clicks, you know, that actually there are some plugins already doing that, you know, like vintage tapes and shit like that, you know. So what do you think about that? Do you prefer then to dive in deep into the already having digital plugins doing it easily, or going through the analog mixing compressors or EQs? Thank you, and I fade out.
That was Moody Kablawi. Yeah, applause. Yeah. Yeah. CJ.
I hear a lot of mastering engineers are using analog because of the way that like tube saturation and
Right.
these things sound really nice, and digital anti-aliasing it is kind of more crunchy. But if everything is ending up digital in the end with streaming, then it means that you can make a tool that just perfectly imitates the analog. And these analog systems are very inaccessibly priced, thousands.
That's the truth,
If you're
yeah.
a 14-year-old bedroom producer, like I'm gonna download the free plugin.
That's totally true. Totally makes sense.
There is few things in digital that is hard to imitate. For example, distortions. Well, let's go and find a good digital distortion. You won't. It just don't exist. It always sounds shit. But most, including amps, got much better. So about the signal, for sure the signal, when you get an analog signal, and I got it as a mixing engineer, it's more easy to mix. But at the end, you need to mix it. You need to mix it. So when you don't need to bounce here or there, it's, you know, it's not the primary thing. That's what I think. It's not the primary thing. Even if it's juicy, not juicy, you can make it juicy. You can work with really
So you say
lo-fi.
it's not about equipment? Roy?
You can work with really lo-fi stuff and generate really good ideas and really good, interesting sound.
But if you talk about mastering, for
Yeah.
instance, Roy, in the end of the game, does the equipment make no difference in your
You
opinion?
pay more for mastering. You pay more, and yeah, in mastering you can hear that, but at the end you will hear that in Spotify and 100 in streaming quality. You know,
This is another thing,
like
yeah.
so. Who has vinyl at home? Who has cassettes at
That's
home to
true.
hear it in the same way? I love my sound when it's coming from digital to a tape. This for me is perfect. I hear in tape a lot of like nice meats, but it's not
Some rows,
it's
some
not-
noises, and some.
It's not how
some
people
dirt.
hear it.
That's
you
true.
know?
That's true.
So it's also a thing, and I'm for to do with what you have, and not
That's for sure the message.
that's what I'm for.
That's what we up to in Hypernatural as well, I would say. Just work with what you have. This is the message we want to bring to all the producers who watch us now. Just work with what you have. Your resources are available, and you can make wonders. Okay, so
Use what you have.
Yes.
Use and understand.
Exactly. It's not about the equipment. It's about how you use it. Thank you. We're just about to wrap this show, so we limited it for now 1 hour. Whoever watched the last season, we went sometime to 2-3 hours of a show. So now we wrap that for 1 hour. We got Tom here in the house. Next show is going to be 19th of December.
Right, this is going to be a Christmas show.
It's going to be a pre-Christmas show. We're going to have El Dante Tom here.
Interesting, won't it be?
Yes.
So who's
He
going to
can
be part
join.
of a Christmas?
Yeah, it's going to be a white Christmas.
That's a surprise.
No,
That's
no, it
like,
doesn't have to be a white Christmas.
Okay, it's going to. Oh, did I say it?
And we're not going to be
Did I say
sponsored
it
by
loud?
Coca-Cola. So
Coca-Cola.
come in red costumes.
All right.
But
all
who's
right.
going to be the elf?
we still need to think about it actually,
Yeah.
because I don't know, but there's maybe some candidates for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
What you
AKA
feel
Well,
about?
look at me.
AKA Tom.
What do you feel?
AKA Tom.
No, we don't.
Wow.
But so the next show is on the 19th of December, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be about gaming.
Oh,
The name of the episode is Game Not Over.
game not
So
over.
we're not over. We're not over, are we?
Okay, it's not. Yeah, it's game
We
not
just
over.
started.
Is basically
started.
it just started.
You just started.
It
Wicked,
just
yeah.
started, right?
Good job, man.
So
Good job today, yeah.
Thanks.
So
And
what,
what-
what we're going to end tonight with? Before,
Let's
we
ask
should,
for-
we should thank everybody for being
I was
here
just
tonight.
about it.
Absolutely.
He's the star.
So we want to
thanks,
thank
yeah.
everybody who take. I'm gonna give a little
Series
credits
2.
here to all the participants. We got Sunny Bar who doing transmission today, doing video.
Shout out to Sunny right
Rafi,
there.
new team on the player on the
Bingo.
team.
We
got
have-
Stefano the Puma. Sorry,
Poopa, yay!
it's a new nickname.
The Poopa.
Stefano the
Shout out to
Pupa.
boy.
He's going to start selling bubble gum.
Exactly.
Fresh father, by the way.
Fresh
So
father.
congrats on that as well.
Are we going to? All right, we're letting everybody know.
Yeah.
So
Doing
he's
great
now a
sound for us
father.
today.
He's
Fresh
off the
father.
market.
Yes. He's off Tinder at the moment. We got Mitza in the
Director.
house, director,
Right.
boss, running the show behind the scene,
Shout out.
putting it
indeed.
all together in this new format, as you see.
We have a guest.
We got
vi-
Yoni, make a selfie mode of yourself.
Yeah, man.
Show us yourself. There you go,
There
we got
Let's go,
Yoni,
right?
second camera member.
Yeah.
We had here CJ from Databots.
Thanks, CJ. Thanks, mate. Thank you
There
very
we go,
much.
man.
Yeah.
Wicked.
Rocky B, Roy Asayag,
AKA
Tropical Camel in the
Tropical
house.
Camel, yeah.
Right.
Shout out.
We got Leon Koroshets, if I pronounce correct this time. There you go.
Wow, very good.
Moody Kablawi here. Right. Introduce.
Bass box. We have Marty Marr as well with us, guest
There
again,
we
my
go.
longtime friend in the city of the Berlin Stadt.
Yes.
Yes.
We got El Dante Tom,
Hey,
who's gonna
you're
host
right.
the next show as well
That's correct.
with this white. And I was Danny DK, The Vault,
Danny
aka
Kotz.
Danny Kotz.
Thanks for
But
moderation,
Danny,
mate.
why don't you wear a suit, mate?
This is my suit, my
Oh,
birthday.
really?
It's still be better. Like you wear this next time. Just
Yeah,
just
yeah,
remember.
Next time gonna
Next
have
time
one
you
as
have a
well.
sweat,
We
bro.
got
You
other
should have
project.
something as well.
Yeah,
So-
we'll think, but nothing like that. Cool.
Okay, so we say goodbye, guys. Oh, what else? Something.
We might have to end with
Goodbyes.
a song.
Last but not. Okay, we're gonna play last song right now.
Okay.
And applause for our
Exactly.
guest. Thank you very much. Thank you. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, Hypernatural.Berlin. Okay, don't forget it. Don't forget it.
More yet to
See
come
you
in the
next
future.
time.
Yeah. Thank you very much
See
for
you,
watching.
See you. Have a good one.